It is June the 1st, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec Site in the St.simons Sound. A bit of bad news today on the environmental front. Out at the site today, there was quite a release. There was product out on the water. Here from the drone view, where we were able to put it up today, you can definitely see where that product is coming off and coming out of the ship and the environmental barrier into the sound. This is on an incoming tide today, and from what we understand, whatever happened last night, and the crews were out today trying to arrest the problem area on the ship, and then the environmental boats were out up against a huge mountain of a task, trying to deal with this contaminant out on the water. The wind was up today out of the northeast with the incoming tide. It was just very difficult. They had about a foot and a half of chop out on the water, and it really makes for a tough time trying to get this material rounded up. And this is what we were seeing, and this was in streaks coming out of the environmental barrier into the sound. And what looks like little small pieces of just burnt debris was actually oil. And we've got some video coming up of where we were collecting this stuff with a net, and you can see the consistency of this stuff. It's really thick. And what was kind of crazy about this is we didn't see the rainbow coloring that we normally see coming off of oil typically. This stuff was kind of clumped together and just in covering a pretty wide swath of the sound. Now, the environmental guys were out. I think we counted 14 boats out working the area, pulling boom and trying to do the best. But you can see this chop on the water, and with a slight white cap going on, it just really makes it difficult to try to round up this material. And again, it wasn't like most of the material we were seeing was not in a liquid form. It was more of a solid, almost like a grease. And from what we understand, this is part of the bunker fuel system on the ship. The ship runs on two different types of fuel. It runs on light diesel fuel when it's inside of certain coastal areas, and then once it's offshore, it's able to run a cheaper oil it's really thick to the point that it has to be heated before it goes into the engine to burn, and it's not pleasant stuff. But here we can see that some of the environmental boats that were out today, and here we can kind of see the consistency of this grease material. And this is a bit of it we scooped up, and we've got some more video coming of actually scooping it up. The Altamaha River Keeper was on the boat with us, and Sue Inman, and here's Sue working the net. And we're just we were trying to grab what we could. You could see what we had to deal with here, and it was just so much of it out there in these streaks of almost like wind-driven snow drifts, if you will, of this oil product in the water. And we got a little bit, but this is really all we had to try to deal with it. And now the environmental boats are trying to pull boom, and we don't really know how effective that's going to be, because again, the product is not liquid. It is more like little bits and pieces of a solid type material. You can kind of see in here what we're talking about, but it's just really nasty gooey mess that was coming out today. The NRC Winnie was out and trying their best to get this stuff rounded up. And it seems like the wind was really driving this stuff so quick. It just, it seems like when they have problems, and we've talked about the project being snake bit, in the last fire, with the big fire was another example with all the wind and that wind-driven fire. Here they have this incident with this release, and the wind's up, and the wind's driving this product much faster than it normally would be if it was just on the current moving around. Once you add the wind component to it, it really makes it difficult to get it rounded up. Again, the guys are doing all they can to try to get this material rounded up, but there's a lot of it out there, and they've got quite a job. And again, you got to be able to see this material. So once the sun goes down, they're kind of hampered, and they have to suspend these operations until the following day, where they're able to really be able to see it, to track it. The helicopter was up helping the teams try to locate these streaks and get them in position to kind of skim for this material. The environmental barrier, for what it was designed to do, has been kind of a letdown because, first of all, it has to have openings in it for access into the wreck site. It's got to be better than no barrier at all, but it still has its limitations, and especially in these high currents that are in the St. Simons Sound, it seems like it struggles to be what it was designed to actually do what it was designed to do in these currents. It seems like there's quite a bit of product that seems to get by the environmental barrier. But again, the guys out working, doing everything they could to try to get this stuff rounded up. You could smell it, this product out on the water, a distinct odor of petroleum out while we were getting this footage today. Now, at the site today, it looked like maybe they have kind of suspended cutting operations, and from what we understand, they're trying to isolate where the problem area is, and are trying to deal with that on the ship to try to arrest these contaminants from making their way into the estuary. So everything was kind of, while we were out there going around the ship today, everything was kind of in a suspended mode, if you will, and the blocks were kind of, they weren't completely down, say, as on the deck of the VB, but they were definitely slack. And we got a couple pictures coming up here of that, and you can kind of see they've kind of backed off here and maybe looking at, from what we understand, capping off or isolating the areas where these contaminants are coming out of the ship. This is the inshore side block, the one that's working on the hull, and then the offshore side that's up coming across the top side of the wreck. Now, most of our time was spent today not really at the wreck site, but kind of in the Sound, on the Jekyll or south end of the Sound, and looking. We got a couple of pictures here. This is some of the product that found its way onto Jekyll Island. Jekyll Island seemed to be in the path of it. And we see the helicopter up. The part of the barrier absorbent boom that was put out, and this picture was sent in to us, and we got folks that are in the water right at where the boom is. Apparently the word didn't get out to them. It was not a good day to be in the water. Well, hey, that's going to do it for the report today. Thanks for checking us out. We'll ask if you haven't done it to click on that subscribe button. Send us some comments. Most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.